I've been involved in my neighborhood all my life, over 50-something years. Our neighborhood is being gentrified. Change is good, but when you're forcing people out, that's definitely bad. I mean, I could have easily moved out and lived somewhere else, but I chose to stay in the community that I was born and raised in. It's not fair. It's not fair, and people really don't understand. They think that they know, but until you experience it yourself, you really don't know. And so what we want to do is to gather together to show that we can do things in our neighborhood. We want to remain in our neighborhood. And so if we're not at the table trying to get those things in our community, then we're on the menu and getting ate up.
When the Fair Housing Act was passed in 1968, it made it unlawful to discriminate due to certain protected classes. What it couldn't do was fix the damage that already had been done at that point through items such as redlining, blockbusting, racial covenants that had so segregated our neighborhoods, and these government policies that determined that some neighborhoods benefited more than others solely due to things like their race, color, national origin, or religion. Those same segregated neighborhoods still exist today and have suffered long-term from not having the same sort of investment that other neighborhoods have had. The Fair Housing Center has only been around for 11 years, but in that time we have had some major successes where we have been able to get access to funds or require that those that we allege had discriminated give grants or funds back to neighborhoods. One of those can be homeowner repair grants. This is for individuals who have lived in their neighborhoods long term. They lived there when their neighborhood suffered from disinvestment, when they couldn't get a loan to be able to fix up their home because their home wouldn't appraise for what they might need. That allows them to stay connected to that neighborhood and to be a part of it longer term because they truly are the history of that neighborhood.
NeighborLink Indianapolis is an organization that focuses on providing free home repairs to individuals who are either seniors or have a disability, and we do this by providing home repairs at no cost to that homeowner. We work with volunteers as well as paid staff and trades partners to make sure that we're able to get the job done so they can remain in their home for as long as they wish. Some of the barriers that people have to safe and affordable housing can be something as simple as attempting to age in place and being unable to manage a repair or maintenance for your home. Many of the individuals that we work with already own their home, and the most affordable housing is actually the one you own. And so when you are unable to truly maintain that home, that becomes the risk factor.
I moved in with my mom. She was wanting to be with someone all the time, so I told her I'd find us a house. And so I have lived here for 25 plus years until I can't make it around myself anymore. I plan to stay as long as I possibly can. As long as I'm getting around, I'm gonna be right here. When I moved in and the roof, it leaked. The second month I moved, we had a leak in the roof. So I had to get a new roof for the house.
In Linda's case, we were able to use the Fair Housing Center's funds to be able to do a huge roof repair for her. In the past, we've also helped her with a couple of plumbing projects, I believe an electrical project, and currently we still have one outstanding that we'll be working on for her this year, and that will be handrails going into her home to make sure that her entry and exit are safe and there's a lack of a fall risk there.
Retired, so my money is kind of not as much as I used to have. A fixed income, and I used what I had out of my 401k to pay the house off. So now I would have made it. So they did a great help to me when they came through for me.
This is the house you said you want to live in basically for the rest of your life, right?
The rest of my life, I'm here.
Some other ways that the Fair Housing Center seeks to assist neighborhoods who may have suffered from long-term discrimination. It might be in forms of rent stabilization, organizations that are working to help families who might have experienced hardship at some time or are currently experiencing hardship, where they just need help temporarily. And we are very fortunate in our community to have organizations that are working to assist families when they meet those type of hardships.
Family Promise is a homeless shelter for families with kids. We have existed for about 27 years under the principal value that we will not split up a family. The families that we serve come from all different backgrounds, mainly low-income jobs. Many are working, some are on disability. If they're working in service industries, warehouses, fast food sometimes, but just having trouble make ends meet when they're having to afford daycare, the cost of raising children. I think the biggest barrier to getting housing is often having an eviction on your record or some other barrier in your background. With the shortage of affordable housing that we have, and when I say affordable, I'm saying anything from $500 to $700 a month, where if you work in a low-wage job, you're paying a third of your income in rent. That's the ideal, that or less. Those units just don't exist. So landlords can be picky. It's a private market, and in that market, they can choose the most qualified tenants. And when they do, if you have an eviction in the last year or even the last 3 years, it might rule you out.
I was applying for apartments and I ran into a situation on my credit background where they said I owe an apartment I lived at for damages. And then another situation is where I rented a house and a couple days later I find out it has fleas. Me and my daughter had to vacate immediately. So I was just running into situations where I was kind of getting turned down. I was stressed out about it, felt like I was a failure, to my own child because I can't provide. It was a lot for me to figure out on my own.
You want some tea too?
I like tea.
I know you like tea.
I got baptized on October 5th, and after I got baptized, the lady was like, hey Stephanie, what do you want to pray for? And I'm like, shelter, The next morning when I was going to work, I'm like, let me call Family Promise. I moved in the same day.
Stephanie is a wonderful example of somebody who came into the program, super strong work ethic, wonderful care for her daughter. Just, it had been tough. She's had a lot of trauma in her life, and she has bounced back from it. She's shown a lot of resilience. And when you see that in somebody, you just want to invest in them. You want them to achieve their dreams. And so she did all the work herself, but we were grateful to be able to walk alongside her and be witnesses to that and tell her how great she is doing so that in the hard moments she could know that she was going to pull through. And the good news is now she has a lease in her name. Now she has the pride of paying the bills and providing for her family, and the sky's the limit with her. I'm excited to see where she's going to go in the future years.
So much has been lifted off my shoulders. Mila sleeps better. She has her own room. We don't have to worry about getting up, leaving, packing our bag, going to spend a night here. So just being stable and settled and just happy is just amazing for me. And Mila is happy, so that's all that matters.
It's very important to us that we hear from the community and from the neighborhoods what they want, what they need. And kids need programs, but some of our neighborhoods do not have those type of programs at the same degree that our majority white neighborhoods do.
I have a nonprofit, Community Assets Inc., and within that nonprofit, we are powered through Urban Youth Entrepreneur Academy. And in that academy, we have coding, robotics, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, 3D printing, coding. We are subliminally teaching them about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, looking at education, looking at our neighborhood being a tech desert and education and kids dropping out of school and all those different types of things, and try to put together a plan to help keep us in school and get us more involved. They're able to come in our community and apply it hands-on. And so that's really worked. And so we know that kids are doing better in school, attending more, being more attentive, involved in community.
But these kids here, what grade are you at?
Juniors and sophomores.
Junior and sophomore that actually run the program.
Basically, this program is just mainly just 3D printing in general. We just show them how to do the modeling, and then we show them the slicing, and then they're able to pick their own models, and then eventually they would get to 3D print them, and they would be showcased here for future students.
Investment is always good, no matter where it goes, but definitely in marginalized and underserved populations. We have kids that come to our programs, and some of their parents, they stay here with them, and so they learn about it. And so now those are conversations that they could have at home about careers, going to college and those types of things. It's been remarkable to see how kids and their families have made changes and commitments to their community and to their own selves. And I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me in this community. There are people that are still here and showing that there's still good things in urban communities. And so it's an honor to be chosen to do this, and it's an honor to have people and organizations that are willing to help within these communities.
So many different programs that we are so proud of over the years, but the funding that we have been able to secure, there just needs to be so much more of it. What can you do? How can you make a difference? One of the ways is, first of all, get involved with Fair Housing Center of Central Indiana. Visit our website. Our advocacy page talks about the discrimination that we have uncovered. We've released reports about housing disparities that are present here in our community. It can be becoming a fair housing tester. Help us uncover housing discrimination by being a secret shopper. Get active on issues of public policy by demanding that our legislature take action on needed housing changes. Following us on social media, where we post a lot of different information as well as calls to action that might be more immediate. And sharing what you hear with others. So many people do not understand the discrimination that has occurred for so long in our neighborhoods. And again, people don't know this history of redlining, racial covenants, the harassment that occurred that kept our neighborhoods segregated. And that isn't something that can be fixed with just a snap of the fingers in the single passage of one law. There needs to be a national discussion in this area, but here in our community, in our neighborhoods, get involved. Your voice matters, and it's so important